Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm just going to wait for you guys to tune in. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook. And good morning, YouTube. How's everyone doing? Hope you all have had a great week thus far. We're just going to jump right into it. Good morning, Sitina and Kelia and Ejikane. Good morning. Miss Sheena, good morning. Adna, good morning. Someone is saying no sound. Can you guys hear me or you can't hear me? If you can't hear me on Instagram, let me know. Can you guys on Facebook hear me? Um, I've had like the worst Wi-Fi the last couple of weeks in the office, and we're just doing everything we can to fix it. So hopefully, okay, you can hear me. So some of you can hear me, and some can't hear me. So if you can't hear me, maybe log back in, or just raise your volume to see if you can hear me, because it looks like some people can hear me. But let me introduce myself. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer, and I represent clients all over the United States with their humanitarian-based and family-based immigration. Not only do we do VAWA, T, and U visa cases, we also do marriage-based cases, naturalization, consular processing, fiancé visa, family-based petitions, and things like that. Okay, I see everyone can hear me now. Great. So if you want to schedule a consultation, you can call us 407-995-6567 or 678-325-1037. It's also scrolling through the ticker on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're on Instagram, you should be able to see that in your Instagram profile. So let's just jump right into it. Someone is asking, do you do EB2s? No, I don't do EB2s, unfortunately. Maybe I will start doing it one of these days, but right now we don't do it. My hands are full. The people's attorney is back. Yes, I'm back. I didn't make it last week. My children were in Boston at a debate tournament. And so they were competing for a few days, which I'm very proud of, even though my kids don't want to be lawyers, but I think they have it in them to do it. So hopefully debate will help them find their love for the legal world, because they're very strong debaters, but we'll see. I'm definitely not going to push them towards one profession, because if you're not a lawyer, you have no idea how stressful it is, like being a lawyer and then being an immigration lawyer, where the laws change on a daily basis. So you're consistently studying. And my children sit here with me at work after school almost every day of the week. And I truly feel sorry for them, and so they see the work that I do. And, for them, it just seems like a lot. But anywho, someone is asking, is there any news about DACA? Right now, there's no news for DACA. It's exactly as it is, which is basically they're not processing any cases. Personally, in the past, they're like, send applications, but we're not going to process your case. Personally, if a case is not being processed, I generally don't like to put in the application, because it's just, for lack of a better word, like a shit show, like what happened with parole in place. And then, they're now sending people back their money. Because they're not doing those cases anymore. So, for me, like my goal and my focus is to give you guys real time, real law. What is it in effect, and what is the law? Luxury HHB says, good morning, I called the office, no answer. I am so sorry. As I'm sure you can imagine right now, like our phone lines are off the chain. It is really, really difficult, like with all the people answering the phones, to get through to everybody at the same time. But as long as you call and you leave a message, you'll be called back. Like sometimes some people would say, I called them. When we checked the call log, the phone rang all of 1 second, which is not enough time for them to, answer the call. So, either please send us a message on DM with your phone number, send us a WhatsApp message with your phone number, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to you. I think contact@chidowaylaw.com is also another way to reach us, so that we can reach you. But we're trying our best to, contact and pick up as much phones as we can, or phone numbers or phone calls. But anyway, someone is asking, what was that question? I wanted to see. It's a rumor that I want to correct. Hearing rumors, but I want an attorney like you to confirm. When you get your green card, can the person leave the U.S. next day, or they have to wait 2 years in the United States and then travel? You can absolutely, and this rumor, I'm sure, is the one that stems from the rumor that's been going around saying that if you're a 2-year green card holder, you're not going to be allowed back into the country if you leave the country. Please, guys, this rumor mongering, like, I feel like it's derailing from the work that we do as attorneys, because the entire time we're coming here to debunk rumors and we can't actually focus on our work. Because I can't tell you, like, outside of my clients or people that just see me online, like, the amount of emails or texts I get from friends, family. Is this true? Is this Ivorian lady story true? Is this 407 form true? Is this dual citizenship true? If you guys are not hearing this from a legitimate immigration lawyer, not a consultant, not a random person that's doing it to go viral or to get followers, it is not true. You can also go to USCIS website yourself to find out the information. As a green card holder, you are eligible to travel at all times. The only difference is if you are a green card holder and you have a removal case that was never terminated. In those cases, it is not advisable to leave the country until you get that terminated. You might ask, what scenarios might I have a green card and a deportation case pending? For instance, if you have a 2-year green card, and you file for removal of conditions in the green card, and let's say your first removal of conditions are denied. Typically, when your removal of conditions are denied, they terminate your green card, and then they're required to send you to deportation proceedings. And by doing that, they issue you an NTA, which is a notice to appear in front of an immigration judge. Now, as long as you have not been ordered removed, we can still put in another application to remove the conditions on your green card if you have another basis, or maybe the first time you didn't use a lawyer and you have evidence truly to submit, and then the lawyer can do it for you. So in those cases, what will happen is you have that removal case that's pending, and what will happen is that the judge might put a stay or administrative hold on that case if your hearing has not come up, to allow your removal of condition case to be adjudicated. And if that case is then approved, you do get a green card, but you also still have to terminate that 2-year, not 2 year, you have to terminate that case that's pending with an immigration judge. So that is the scenario they're talking about. And this is the problem with, given too much legalese, because it's so easy to misunderstand and misconstrue what is being told. And then when that person passes it on to the next person, and that person passes it on to the next person, and then the other person, and then before you know it, the story is completely off and incorrect. And that's why when I come on live, I try to simplify this in layman's term, as simple as possible, as though I was talking to my mom or my dad or my own siblings, just so people can understand. A few other rumors I'm going to debunk, since we're talking about rumors. I've gotten a lot of text messages also about the I-407, about if you're a green card holder and you leave the United States and come back, that they're making green card holders sign this form. So first and foremost, this form has existed in all administration. Prior to Trump, it was there in Biden's era. Basically, what this is saying is that you cannot leave the United States for an extended period of time without getting a permission to re-enter for an extended time before you leave the country. So i.e., if you've left the country for a year, when you come back, they are going to ask you to sign an I-407, which is basically saying that you've abandoned your green card because you've been out of the country for more than a year. Okay. A lot of times what will happen is they'll tell you to either sign it and then they'll give you a B1, B2, or send you back home, right? And so for some people, if they have someone that can do an immediate relative petition for them, and they're just like, whatever, like, they'll sign it again, they come in with a B1, B2, and then they refile again. And then, but if you are getting that, and like you've been out of the country for, let's say, like 3 months, 4 months, you shouldn't be getting that. Right? If you've been out of the country for 6 months and you have a reason for why you've been out of the country, you shouldn't be getting that. In those cases, you don't have to sign that. They have to let you back into the country. And once they let you back in, whatever they want to do, that's their business, but you've not abandoned your green card. So in those cases, you don't sign it. but they're not going to send you out. They're not going to send you back because you're a green card holder. But please, this is only for people who have been out of the country for a year or more, so if that is not you, or if you're trying to do that, please get a permission to re-enter back into the United States. And you want to get the permission to re-enter before you leave the country. You can't do it outside of the country, Now, having said that, I will tell you, we've naturalized people that were out of the country for 4 years, and, they let them back into the country. And, I remember going to like interviews and USCIS officer arguing, you abandoned your green card. And I'm like, they did not. You let them back into the country. And since then they've been in here. So as long as you let them back in the country, you can't tell them that they've been abandoned their green card. But at the port of entry, again, this 407 only applies if you have been outside of the United States for an extended period of more. Basically, you shouldn't be out of the United States for 6 months or more, because really, not only does it affect you, in this case, it also affects you from when you're eligible to naturalize, So this is not a new law. This has always been there. The other rumor I want to debunk, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, and truly this is the last time I'm going to talk about this. And if you're my friend or family member watching this, watch this, because if you text me, I will ignore you. And not because I'm being rude, but because I've talked about this enough. Dual citizenship. You are permitted in the United States to have dual citizenship. Not every country allows dual citizenship, but the United States allows dual citizenship. If you belong to a country that has dual citizenship, i.e., let me use Nigeria, for example, since I know a lot of you guys here are Nigerians, right? You're absolutely able to travel with your U.S. passport and your Nigerian passport. You hold the two passports, and depending on the country you are, you give them what passport they require. When you get to Nigeria, you're going to show them your Nigerian passport at Customs and Border. When you get back into the United States, you're going to show them your U.S. passport. You need to hold on to both passports on your trip. You absolutely do not need a visa if you're going to Nigeria to and fro. So hopefully that debunks that. Now, having said that, there are some countries that do not allow dual citizenship, i.e., the particular whatever that has been going around is some Ivorian woman or something like that. First of all, Ivory Coast doesn't allow dual citizenship. It has some exceptions. Cameroon is also another example that doesn't allow dual citizenship with some exceptions. So, you always want to look at the context. Someone said newsletter coming. You always want to look at the context of whoever is spreading that rumor, where are they coming from, or whatever it is. And I know somebody like posted something, like some person posted a video and like, JFK, look, I'm here. They're not like, first of all, he didn't even show himself in CBP. If he's not being allowed, the first question you should be asking is, well, what country are you from? Where are you trying to go? Are you a U.S. citizen? If you're a U.S. citizen and you're trying to go to Cameroon or whatever it is, if you go there, you can't go with your Cameroon passport because they don't allow you, as a dual citizenship. I'm just picking Cameroon. I don't know where he's from, but I'm just saying it just depends on the country and the context. Hopefully, I think those are the main rumors that have been asked questions about. So I just want to move on to regular scheduled program. Someone says, with a 48-month extension letter, am I able to travel with that? I'm assuming you're talking about a 48-month extension based on having a 2-year conditional green card where you've applied for removal of condition. The things that you want to check is, first, you want to make sure that you're not in deportation proceeding. That's number one. Number two, you want to know at what stage of your application are you traveling? Have you received an RFE or an NOID? This advice has not changed with this era or the previous era. I've always said, if you have received an RFE and an NOID, and we have submitted a response, you do not travel until they make a decision on that. Because God forbid you travel and then they deny your case while you're outside of the United States. Okay? So otherwise, you're typically allowed to travel if all of those conditions, you can check it off and confirm that you've met it. I'm from India. Can I take Indian? Also have to wait for my U.S. citizenship, but I don't know. I don't think your question is completed, so you can just finish your question. All right, let's see what other questions here. This person says, okay, I'm from India, I have US citizenship, but can I also get an Indian citizenship? Honestly, I don't practice law in India, so I can't tell you for a fact. So what you want to do is you want to check with India, what conditions are required for citizenship. Are you allowed to have dual citizenship with another country? And, if you're not, you're going to have to give up one, India or America. Someone is asking, how long does it take getting a green card through VAWA? It takes to do, how long does it get after getting a green card through VAWA? Does it take to get citizenship? I got mine 2 years now. Congratulations, Hopi. That's amazing. So the earliest that you can apply for citizenship after getting your 10-year green card through VAWA is 2 years and nine months. So 90 days before your 3-year green card anniversary, as long as your previous spouse is a U.S. citizen or was a U.S. citizen, and you got it through VAWA. I was approved for VAWA. Edwin says, I was approved for VAWA last month. My adjustment of status was filed together. How long do you take it will be for my green card? I live in Houston. For most people, before I would say, anywhere from like 3 to 6 months, but now it feels more like 5 to 9 months is what we're kind of seeing from when you submitted your, when you got approved for VAWA till when they approve you. Now we're definitely seeing more interviews since the Trump administration, but we are still seeing some interview bypasses, even for marriage cases. So I don't know if they're going to create a specific rule or change that, but we're definitely seeing this week, like today at our firm, we have 4 interviews today, 4 interviews tomorrow. So it's back to back, back to back. So we're all going and attending all these interviews. And for a lot of them, they're for applicants whose VAWAs have been approved, and they're just doing a quick interview for the I-485. Not big deals. Those interviews are usually very quick and mild. They may be going over your medical, making sure that, your medical looks good, and stuff like that. So that's the timeline. After 9 months, if nothing, that would be a good time to do a status inquiry and see what's going on. Okay. Let's see. I traveled last year 4 times with AP and arrived safe on a VAWA case. Now is it okay to travel from Pakistan? The personal advice that I've been giving my own personal clients is that for the next 100 days, from January 20th, if it's not a life-threatening reason for you to travel, like a life or death situation, hold out on traveling. Just hold out on traveling, just because the rules are moving and there's just so many changes happening so quickly that, I'm a person that I like to assess the situation and hold out before saying you should travel. Now, are you permitted to travel? Today, the rule says you are. I don't know your case personally. I'm just saying today the rule says that you're allowed to travel if you have advanced parole, you have a pending case, you don't have a removal proceeding, or anything that would stop you from returning. That being said, I err on the side of caution if it's a leisure travel. So for me, it has to be a life or death situation for me to be like, okay, go. And, we have this reason why you're traveling. But otherwise, let's just wait it out, because there's just too much happening right now where I would rather just wait till March or April just to see and get some precedents to be able to say, this is what has happened statistically to people. Okay, let's see. Lady lawyer, I have a question. I have a pending case. I lost a court in 2015. Do you think I can do something? Many lawyers scam me. I want someone to help me resolve my case. Honestly, I don't understand what you're saying. So I would need to understand a little bit more to know if we can help you. Renata is asking, why is your consultation fee so much? I really wish I can afford it. I really don't understand when people say, $150 or $250 for a consultation fee is too much. Renata, I really empathize with you. But one of the things that, I continue to say is that, in a world where you're getting, especially now, you're being overloaded with misinformation, disinformation, and all kinds of things where there's no clarity. Like, to me, going into a consultation with an attorney who actually practices in an area where you need that help, that can give you peace of mind to tell you whether you're eligible for something, this is a strategy for something, whether you should hold out on doing something, is worth something. Because when you say that, it means that you're saying that my time is not worth anything, or it's not valuable. Like, I don't deserve to be paid for having an education and educating myself to teach you or to tell you what it is you need to do, by advising you the law. It's like if you go to a doctor, because you have a pain or for physical, you expect the doctor to get paid. So, at some point, we have to be valued, because why am I doing this if I cannot feed my family? So that's why we charge for consultations. We're not like personal injury firms who work based on getting a massive payout. And then that way, $150 means nothing to them. In every other legal field, your consultation fee is going to be $400 or $500 to speak to an attorney. I can tell you that, because I worked in mergers and acquisition. I was a business attorney, an intellectual property attorney before I started doing full exclusively immigration. And I can tell you that, my fees were more. So I definitely think that our fees are very fair, and you get your value for coming to those consults. So if you can, I would love for you to consult with us. And if you can, I also understand. Val approved May last year. RFE for medical received September. How long for a decision? Newman, I'm not sure. September would be so 3 months, 2 months. If nothing has been heard by like March, like I always say 6 months, then we definitely want to know. Like, but again, like people who have submitted medical for VAWAs, we're definitely still seeing them being called for an interview. So it is possible that you might be scheduled for an interview. But if after 6 months from medicals, nothing, then we can definitely do an inquiry, or you should definitely do an inquiry to see what's the status of that. Carol said, he said, leave his name and number. My brother has been trying to call. Okay, what is his name and number? You can send it to me. Well, don't write it here publicly so people don't do it, but you can send us a message, and I will see if someone can get back to him. As I said earlier, it's just really hard right now because the phone lines are insane. Like, so it's really hard to pick up all the calls all the time, but we're working through all the numbers. Mm-hmm. My friend was denied his permit and travel document, even though he has a pending green card. Hope he will have a consult with you. Sorry to hear that. It would be good to know why he was denied, and to see if we can help him. Okay. All right. All right. Let me go to Instagram. Where's my office? My office is in Atlanta, Georgia, but represent clients in all 50 United States. My ex-husband is a green card holder, and he wants to adopt my 16-year-old that lives in the US but is out of status and no valid passport. Do you help with that? No, we don't handle adoptions, unfortunately. If I filed in 2022, June for VAWA, and I'm in good standing, I filed for I-485 concurrently. I saw my case transferred to another office. That's fine. A lot of cases, I don't know, in 2022, it depends on when you filed, whether they were using Lincoln, Nebraska, or whether they were using Vermont. So like most of you that submitted a file to Lincoln, Nebraska, you're going to see at some point during your case that your file will be transferred to Vermont. And then when Vermont makes a decision on 360, they transfer your 485 to whatever local area you live in, because the 485 is usually processed by where you live. So if you live in Texas, in Houston, it will be transferred to the Houston field office. So those might be the transfers that you're seeing happening. Okay, so Mimi is asking a question. I plan to go to Nigeria, but I heard I won't be able to come back but I have my 10-year green card. So how true is it? When I get off this live, I'm going to save it and you go watch it because I talked about this already. I crossed the border and now I'm married to a U.S. citizen. As of last year, what can I do? Unfortunately for you, if you cross the border, meaning you did not enter without inspection, land, plane, train, sea, without a Customs and Border Patrol officer inspecting you and providing an I-94 to you, you're not going to be able to adjust your status in the United States. You're going to be able to file an I-130. And if the I-130 is approved, you're going to need to do an I-601A waiver for hardship with qualifying relatives, showing that there's going to be hardship to them if they don't allow you to come back into the country. If that is approved, you're then going to have to go back to your home country for your consulate interview. And if approved, that's how you're going to be able to enter. The exception to that would be if you qualify for certain humanitarian benefits. Some of those humanitarian benefits are if you're eligible for VAWA, meaning that the person you married, God forbid, but if the person you married is or becomes abusive, then you'd be able to file for VAWA without leaving the United States. If you're eligible for T, which is labor trafficking or sex or commercial sex trafficking cases, you will be able to, a U visa, which is being a victim of a serious crime. And then in some limited exceptions, of course, asylum, depending on when you file the asylum case and stuff like that. All right, guys, I just saw the time. I gotta jump off. All right. I will, if I didn't get to answer your question, schedule a consultation. I see someone here saying that they would never pay that for a consultation, and that's fine, because the wonderful thing about life is that we have free will, and choices. So it's always good for you to go where you feel that you have value, because I only want to work with people that value our advice and value our services, because those people tend to be successful with their cases. So if you want to schedule a consultation, definitely call us 407-995-6567 or 678-325-1037, or you can message us on WhatsApp with your phone number, which is 404-333-8751, and we will give you a call back. All right, guys, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.